Today we get our hands dirty with an autopsy. The autopsy of a shepherd, that is. Let's talk about that. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining us today on Let's Talk About That, McNairy County's greatest podcast.
The best.
Wait. I think this works for me.
McNairy County's greatest podcast.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
That's great.
I'm getting a lot of requests to bring that back.
Oh, my goodness.
We're going to have to do a whole podcast with nothing but
Bring that guy back.
with our special guest star.
He charges a lot, though. I mean, that appearance fee is just...
It's worth it, though.
I guess.
It is so worth it. But okay, thank you for joining us today. If I could get my sound effects working right. I turned on another effect. So today, yes, we are talking about the Autopsy of a Shepherd, which is derived from a sermon Pastor Whitley preached this past Sunday, and it was incredible.
You must know a different Pastor Whitley
I do, but I'm talking about you specifically.
that preached a similar sermon.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know any other Pastor Whitleys. I don't have that privilege.
Sure you do.
Well,
There's one in Arkansas, and there's another one in Tennessee.
is there really?
Yeah. Nathan Whitley in Tennessee.
What?
Yeah. Pastor's First Apostolic Church, Knoxville.
See, I don't know. I don't know people.
And Danny Whitley in I think Arkansas. He preached men's conference last year before.
I don't remember that. Oh, wait, I do remember that.
I remember what he preached. Anyways, Nathan Whitley, he's got some great commentaries.
What?
Yeah. I really enjoyed the one on Book of
Shout
Hebrews.
out. Shout out to you guys if you're listening,
Yeah.
which we know you are.
It was Whitley's.
If you're not, you should be. We'll have to tag them and say
Yeah.
y'all got a special shout out in
A
this.
shout out.
Oh, we will. I will have to find them, track them down on Facebook, and say,
There you go.
this
Stalk 'em.
podcast. Stalk them.
I mean, track him down.
Not that kind of way.
I have not been stalking them. I'm just watching their every move. I've just been watching everything they're doing.
God.
I have not been stalking them.
Oh, that's great.
I have text message alerts when they post.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah, that's too good. Anyways. All right, but before we get into that, I guess we can do everybody's favorite, the jokes of the week.
The joke.
The joke of the week.
Where do I can't even tell it. Where do pirates get their hooks?
Where?
Second-hand shops.
That is awesome. I'm going to be using that one tomorrow.
Why did the bicycle collapse?
Why did the bicycle collapse?
It was too tired.
That's great. Dude.
You're gonna love this one. What kind of music do bubbles hate? Pop.
Pop. No, I knew it. I was like, it's on the tip of my tongue.
We have something in common.
What's that?
We both hate pop music. Me and Bubbles. I don't know about you.
Mr. Bubbles. Mr. Colonel Bubbles.
My barber was telling me the other day, though, that he had won a race. He knew a shortcut.
Oh, that's a good one.
Joseph wanted me to tell this
I was going to say, which one did your child want?
Shared this one with me, and he said, how does Darth Vader like his toast? Just a little on the dark side.
Oh, Joseph for the win. That's a great one.
Oh, my goodness.
We'll have to bring that one back during May 4th.
Ah, yes.
I told you one about Darth Vader the other day. It was so terrible. I was messing around with ChatGPT. He's like, can you tell me jokes? And specifically, I was like, can you tell me Star Wars jokes? They were horrible. Oh, Lord, they were bad.
Did you hear about that bullet that lost its job?
No.
He got fired.
Bonus.
Did you know that a toe cannot be 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot.
I apologize. That probably busted everybody's eardrums, but I was not expecting that one.
Okay, I'm done.
I'm going to have to get my composure back. I'll throw that one out because I've told everybody the one I told you the other day. Did you hear about the score? The one between the ocean and the beach.
That was good.
It was tied.
Oh, that's good. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, so yeah, those of you that hate the jokes are going to love this episode.
Love it.
I'm going to have to specifically tag those people.
What does a house wear?
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
What?
A dress.
Oh,
Real, raw, unedited.
this is great. I wish I would have known. I would have just kept the music going,
I'm sorry.
but it made it so much better.
They just keep rolling out. Like a factory.
Because you're so nervous.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I literally stopped drinking caffeine, coffee specifically,
For this?
at 10 o'clock
Because
this
of
morning.
Oh, my gosh.
So nervous. I didn't want to be extra jittery.
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, you wrote the material. I was like, I don't know why you're so nervous. I was like, you're not the bozo over here trying to ask the questions.
Come on now.
Oh, right. But yes, we will dive right in
Are we waiting on the other guy to
to
join us?
this autopsy.
You said a bozo was asking questions. I'm
Yeah.
still waiting. He's not here yet.
Oh, now I wish I had a horn noise.
Oh no.
I'll go with that. Okay, okay. Oh, I usually can make that noise a lot better, but
Some people are scared of clowns.
this is fair. This is fair. Shout out to
I'm not.
my sister-in-law.
I mean, when I was a
You know who you are.
child, we had Bozo the clown. I
Yes.
was like,
Ronald McDonald wasn't much better.
Ronald McDonald.
He was
Man.
a scary clown. But there is a lot of really good videos and stuff that talks about the theory that goes into behind. I can't remember what the actual fear of clowns is. Probably wouldn't be very funny if I tried to pronounce it, but but like there's a lot that goes into it, and it's got some good merit to it too.
Oh man.
Because there's some terrifying people that dressed up as clowns and did terrible, terrible things.
Yeah, let's don't talk about them.
Well, we are talking about autopsies today. Just
We don't
different
talk about
kind.
clowns.
No, we don't talk about Bruno.
No.
All right, now we're moving on. So yes, diving into our autopsy topic today. Pastor Whitley preached. We'll do a combination of the two.
Prot.
Yeah. Did an absolutely amazing job of this. And I was like, hey, do you mind if we do a podcast on this? Because it was so incredible. And I think he should write a book from this someday.
I don't know if it'll ever happen.
You should totally. You've probably got like 20 million books just floating around up there in that brain of yours.
That one's at the top of the list.
And you just need to write them.
So you're the third person to tell me. So out of the mouth of
Does that make it a prophecy?
2 or 3
Not a
witnesses.
prophecy. Anyways. Yes.
So
So yes, incredible sermon based off that. So timely, so good. And today we are going to dig into that. And I hope you got the story that went along in the beginning. Because I also thought along the beginning of that, it's like that would be another great story that could go along with a guardrails episode.
yeah,
Because, those campers,
I really wasn't
Deliberately.
sure how much of that you wanted me to share.
all of it. I mean, not all of it, about as much as you did. We don't need all the details.
Yeah, I can share some of the.
Oh, see, that's what we should do. We should start a second podcast, a private podcast. What do they call those? We're Patreons.
Or you have to be. It's a paid.
We have to subscribe to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
To get access to the really good details.
yeah.
You want to know how to go to heaven? You're going to have to subscribe.
Oh man,
I'm sorry. That was terrible.
Keith Green wrecked the music industry because he got convicted. He said, I can't even sell my music. He said,
That's
how
fair.
can I profit from the gospel?
That's so
Woo.
good.
They let him out of his contract.
That makes me
They
feel
thought
bad.
he was a prophet. They were afraid that he was going to call down fire or something.
Hey.
And they were like, we've never done this before. Here's
Hey.
your music. Here's your stuff. Get out.
That's awesome. That is so good. But yes, we will dive right into this topic. And we will go ahead and lead us into your opening and talk about this as in-depth or as little in-depth, whichever way you want to do, about the message that you had, the Autopsy of the Shepherd, and explain some of that for us.
So the message, what most people didn't know Sunday night is that was part 2 of a first part that I preached 2 years ago.
You're right.
Here. It started out actually in the middle of children's camp. I was just a counselor in the dorm that year, and in one of the sessions where the children's evangelist was teaching a lesson, she was talking about David, and I guess that the picture that she painted was so clear. I never really stopped to consider the potential harm that could come from fighting the lion and the bear.
Yeah.
We think about it,
incredible.
but then we hail him as a great hero, not considering that you don't fight lions and bears without having scars.
No, definitely not.
And I had a God moment during that camp while she's teaching the kids. God's in the back of the tabernacle working on me, and it was pretty clear at that moment that God said for me as a pastor, He said some wounds are absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
So it was at that moment that I knew, and I came home. Actually, when I got home that weekend, I preached that Sunday morning. I preached necessary wounds. That was a little over 2 years ago, and from that, one part of that message was, let's consider the autopsy of a shepherd.
That's good.
Let's consider how the shepherd died. The different wounds, the different scars, the different, what killed the shepherd. What was it that took the life of the shepherd? And
Wow.
I have so many notes that I've taken, and I just, obviously there's no way to preach it all. And I knew that day, as soon as God gave it to me, I knew that I would preach some rendition of that more than one places, and I have at this point. I've preached it 3 times or 3 different places. Our church here has received part 1 and part 2. Part 1 was necessary wounds, and then part 2 was 2 years later, which was this past Sunday, and that was the autopsy of a shepherd.
That's good.
And from that, I kind of felt like I needed to write those things down. And the conversation you and I have had earlier was that I wasn't sure if it was for pastors or if it was for saints, or if it was, okay, one part's going to be for pastors, one part's going to be for the saints.
Right.
Because, as pastors, at this point in my life, I was a saint who heard more preaching than did preach or teach or counsel. I was more on the receiving end of the word in, let's just say, in the church setting, church service setting, but now for a little over, for 10 years, I've been on the opposite end of that.
Right.
I've been the one doing the majority of the preaching and the teaching and counseling. So I've sat on both ends, but the day will come if, unless God calls me home, which is fine too. The longer I live, the more I feel like John, the Revelator, and I find myself saying, Lord, come quickly, Lord Jesus.
Amen.
But, just thinking about that, if time stands and God does not move me or do something different with me, then the time will come when I will be pastoring longer than I was sitting on a seat underneath the pastor. And I have a pastor now. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm just saying that the roles have changed. So I've seen it from both perspectives. Sometimes I will say, though, it is hard for the pastor to see it from the perspective of the saint unless they put themselves in their shoes,
That's a good point.
and vice versa.
Oh,
The-
absolutely.
The saint to see, and I try to never present it from, and I'm open and honest. Pastoring is the hardest thing I've ever loved to do.
Absolutely.
I mean, is it hard? Absolutely. Can I do anything else? Absolutely not, because this is what God has called me to do. So every move that I make is gauged, is judged, is compared to that standard, is kept balanced by the standard of, okay, the call to pastor has been placed on my life by God. You know,
And that's what makes that so strong and so much more different.
yeah,
Because it's harder for, I don't want to say normal people, but other people who aren't called to a role like that.
yeah,
People who are, maybe just in the career, because you get into a career where you're a supervisor, manager, other managers, directors, and CE. You get a lot of responsibility at those times.
sure,
And just like you said a while ago, you could always lose track of what it's like on the other side. Sometimes you have to understand that and receive that. But in that kind of goal, you can just quit. When
Yeah.
you're sick of it and you're tired of it, you can be like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm just out of here.
yeah, absolutely,
Versus a role like God has called you into something like, you could just quit
yeah,
and give up on it, but
and be miserable.
and God is going to make you so much more miserable.
Yeah,
You're not going to be sitting on the beach,
no,
sipping on Diet Sprites.
yeah, that's right.
Like the CEO that got mad and quit is like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Even if you were, you'd be like Jonah and as far away from God, where God called you, and even more miserable than you could ever possibly imagine.
absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's absolutely right. I was talking to somebody last night at staff meeting, and I said, I think the first question that should be asked when somebody I think I'm hearing that phrase less and less, and I'm not mad about it at all. That phrase where people say, so and so's trying out for pastor.
Ooh,
I said
Yeah.
the first question that needs to be asked of anybody is not how entertaining are you in the pulpit.
come on.
Not even how much. I thank God for knowledge. Thank God for wisdom. Thank God for biblical knowledge and knowledge of the Scripture.
Yeah.
But not even, do you have a doctorate degree? You don't need a doctorate degree to pastor. You don't need a doctorate degree to read the Bible, to teach the Bible. You don't have to have that.
That's good. I was trying to do that earlier, but I couldn't get the button to work.
Are those things good? Absolutely. I think they can enhance it, but it's not necessary. If we as a movement ever get to the place where we think nobody can speak to us unless they have a doctorate,
Yeah.
unless they're a doctor of whatever,
Yeah.
some people are like, oh, we need to let them teach and preach. They're a doctor. What are they a doctor of? First of all, you can get your doctorate in a lot of things.
Yes.
What does that mean? I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm thankful for those people that have applied their minds to teach and preach the word of God. That's excellent. I'm not detracting anything from that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's really two. I don't want to touch on it too much, but there's really two mindsets and two battles there.
yeah,
Because you got your people who look down upon people who do go to seminary schools and
yeah,
get doctorate's degree. There are people that look down on people with education, and like, oh, you can't preach the word of God because you're
Yeah.
too educated.
yeah,
And then you got people on the other side of the spectrum that, you don't have an education. You couldn't speak the word of God if you both are ignorant
yeah.
point of views. But
The day that we relegate the pulpit only to people that have a certain degree
right,
is the day that we go the way of every other denomination,
right.
and that's how every other denomination has died.
Yeah. And a lot of your biblical heroes, so to speak, are made up of a variety.
Yeah,
Not all of them
absolutely.
were the top of the top. Not all of them were the lowest lows, but
Okay, you have Paul, who would have, probably his thorn in the flesh was the fact that his thorn in the flesh was given because he was high-minded and he was like,
Yeah.
I know more than you all. I know more than everybody. I'm the wisest man. I'm the smartest man in the room.
Yeah.
You know, it was very easy for him to be lifted up with pride, thinking I'm a Pharisee of Pharisees.
Right.
You know, I'm top of the line. Then on the other hand, the man that stuck the key in the door at Pentecost was a career fisherman.
Yeah.
You know,
people looked at him and said, he's obviously unlearned and ignorant.
Yeah, Peter, you smell like fish.
Yeah.
Like all the time, like literally.
All the time.
Yeah. The fisherman.
Imagine that. Somebody looks at you, smell like fish, like all the time.
Yeah. Come on, Peter. And he's the one that stuck the key in the door. Now, that's not a license to be ignorant.
No.
That's not a license not to study, not to learn.
No.
The Bible implores us to study to show ourselves approved unto God. Unto God, not unto men. So back to the subject.
Sorry about that.
No, we were talking about the call. I said, you know, I think one of the first questions that should be asked is has God called you to pastor? I mean, if not, then we shouldn't be sitting across the desk from each other. You shouldn't be here talking to the board. You shouldn't be here before the congregation attempting to try out, quote unquote, for pastoring.
Right.
But what often happens is people choose somebody who is what we might consider a great preacher.
Right.
And not so great pastor.
Right.
Because they're not, just because you're great. Just because you're good at one of them doesn't mean you're good at both of them.
It's true. That is true.
Yeah. So, anywho, I think that should be the first question. And in my life, I know, without a shadow of a doubt, and I really did not. I feel like sometimes I should just stand before the congregation and say, you know, I'm sorry. It took me a long time to. Even after stepping into the role of pastor, it took me a long time to really step into the role of pastor.
I got you. That's good though.
To start becoming, you know, I had to personally accept the fact that God had called me to pastor, that it was a call. It was not just a title or a position that I was filling.
Exactly.
But it was something that God had called me to do. And, you know, the weight of that sometimes is very, very burdensome. And I've only been in a lead pastor role for 10 years, associate pastor for 4 years before that. But in the last 10 years, you know, I've seen a lot of people hurt. I've seen a lot of pastors hurt. Now, a lot of people say, well, I was hurt by the church. Well, the church has never hurt anybody. The body of Christ has never hurt anybody.
Right. It's people.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
People that are hurt other people. And sometimes there's people in the body that let a root of bitterness or whatever spring up in them, and then many are defiled because of it. That's Bible. But I will say that for every one saint that sits on the pew and says, I've been hurt by the church, I promise you, for every one, there are 100 pastors. For every one saint, there's 100 pastors that can say, I've been hurt by the church too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you just look at the sheer numbers of it,
you've
got the one man or the one person.
Yeah.
And then you've got 100 other people of the congregation.
Yeah.
Like the odds of them hurting the pastor to some degree, you know, there's a lot more chance there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, could be the other way too. But.
You know, and you know, when somebody picks, they'll pick at me and say, you know, you didn't shake my hand, and I'll say, you know, there's 100 hands here for me to shake. There's only one of mine, and that handshaking thing goes both ways.
Exactly.
You know, believe it or not,
your
feet work as good as mine, and your hand works as good as mine. That's not. It's not arrogancy. That's just saying.
That's the truth.
You know,
it's the sheer numbers of it. It's the truth.
Not neglecting the saints. I believe the saints should be taken care of as well. But when we have guests and we have new converts, I'm going to be spending time with them, bringing them along, because they're the ones. When my kids are young, they need me the most.
Yeah.
The older my kids get, now they need my influence and whether they want it or not, they're going to get it. And they need my voice in their life as a man, as their father, even as their pastor right now. And the day may come where I have to look at them and say, you need to go and sit under somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if this father pastor thing, if this dad pastor thing gets in your way, then you need to go sit under somebody else. You need to learn how to submit and live under submission, live in submission and under authority. You're going to have to learn how to submit. And I thank God for three boys that I think they understand that, and we're open and honest with them about that, and say, the day may come when you need to go sit. You need to go sit under Pastor Lambert or whatever.
Somebody
you need
else.
to go.
Right.
Yeah. Not saying that you'll go forever, but you need to go and you need to learn some things that I might not be able to teach you as your.
I was going to say,
there may be a barrier there.
There may be a barrier that you as a father necessarily, not that you couldn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's that relationship.
I'm not so naive or ignorant as to think that I can be the man I need to be to overcome that barrier to be effective in both worlds.
Yeah.
It's hard enough to live in one world. So some people say, well, you should keep those things separate. Well, I can't. It's impossible to keep those two.
Why don't you keep your career and your life separate? And tell us how well that works.
But if I'm leading the home like I need to, as the man, the head that God looks to, it should be easy to translate that into the church as well.
Yeah. But
I'll be honest, it becomes difficult when those in my house, they know me better than anybody.
Yeah.
That can be a good thing or a bad thing.
This is true too.
People that see you in your pajamas, they see you for who you really are. You can't fool people that see you in your pajamas.
No.
And I hope everybody listening knows that not just anybody should be seeing you in your pajamas. Let me just throw for the record. Do not go to the Dollar General in your pajamas.
For the record, amen.
You don't have to put on a suit and tie, but I mean, you need to.
For the love of God.
You're still a Christian witness. Anyways, that was free.
Yes.
So, okay, let's go. Let's funnel this. Where are we going? Let's spearhead this thing here.
Yes. So the Autopsy of a Shepherd.
The autopsy
started us off with the story of campers, hikers.
Yeah, there was a man and woman. They were. I think he's very well known as he was very well known as a photographer or the ones that videographer.
Yes.
And I guess a documentarian. If that's not a word, it should be.
It's a good word.
He did the documentaries.
Let's talk about that podcast where we make up words.
He would film bears, and he was known to get really close with them and live, right in among them during spawning season for the trout or salmon, rather. Sorry, he would get up close and be with them. Had videos of him, just feet from them, and he said they have accepted me as and.
That's wild.
So he went in 2000. I believe it was 2003. I read at the beginning of the message. I read not the gruesome details, the gory details of the autopsy, but the highlights. What led to his demise, and that was the fact that he had the bear-proof containers for his food, for most of his food. But the problem was he was camping. He had set up camp in the middle of where the bear crossings were.
In hot zone.
That's right. In the high traffic areas. He had set up his camp in a place where he was going to encounter bears.
Yeah.
The danger zone is where he was. He was set up in the danger zone. He was filming, getting as close to them as he could. During the time when salmon were running, the salmon were the bears were out. They were most active. They said that he was in an area where there were not only the bear crossings, but where bear day beds were. They would go to the river or the coast. They would eat the fish, come back. They're going to they eat all that fish. They're going to take a big long nap. So he was in that area. The tents were not touched. The food inside the tents that were not in bear-proof containers were not touched. But him and the lady that was with him, they were both mauled to death and devoured by the bears. Because of where he set up. So then I went in and began to talk about the key components of an autopsy. And I think these are where the points from the book will probably come from. The identification and the history of that individual. And I've worked around the funeral home enough that I've seen several autopsy reports in the last couple of years.
Wow.
Identification, who was the person, what was their history, what was their medical history, their medical records. The scene investigators, they told the story about that person's what led to this moment. There's actually a 6-minute recording. I didn't tell this. There's a 6-minute recording of the bear attack. It's audio only, and it's just too much to even listen to. I didn't listen to it. I read a little bit of the transcript. There's no video, so obviously you can't see. But one of the guys that listened to it, he said, every time I close my eyes, he said, I hear it. He said, and I can't.
That sounds horrific.
I did not listen to it. And I do not advise it. So then the next thing, when considering an autopsy, is the external examination: body weight, height, nutritional status, clothing, personal effects, detailed description of the body surface: head, neck, torso, limbs, eyes, teeth, skin, scars, any medical interventions, tubes or bandages or machine insulin pumps, or even the pacemaker.
Yeah.
Things like that. Just that external examination. Well, that we can very easily make that leap into the spiritual with the external examination, because
absolutely,
the external is simply a reflection of the internal.
Yeah.
Then they would move to the internal. They would take a look at the organs, any incisions on the body, tissue sampling. They take tissue samples for further really analysis, for a microscopic analysis. And then there was the other studies that went along with that. Toxicology: is there any drugs, alcohol, or poisons in the body, in their system? And then they do other tests, DNA, ballistics, things like that, foreign substance. Then finally, what's the conclusion? What was the cause of death? So when I think of the autopsy of a shepherd, that becomes the question. And oh man, just.
That's good, though.
I have so many tapes. It seems like somebody's dropping tapes off in my office every single week. Just cassette tapes. What are they called?
Yeah.
Is that it? Cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes.
We were also talking about my kids were like, "What's a tape?" And a VHS. There's the VHS.
Oh, yeah. VHS tapes.
But the cassette tapes.
8 tracks.
Yeah, somebody's dropping those off in my office, and I see so many names and listen to so many of those messages by people that were devoured.
Wow.
The autopsy of those shepherds, the autopsy of those men of God.
That is terrifying if you truly think about it.
The autopsy of their life. What does the autopsy report conclude? What was the cause of death? What led to their death? What was the manner of their death? Was it natural, accidental, suicidal, homicidal? Was it undetermined? And then the pathologist will make his opinion, or her opinion, their opinion. They'll give their medical explanation and summary, and the opinion is made. In my opinion, this is what happened to this individual. And there's so many things in a pastor's life that have the ability. I shouldn't say the ability. The opportunity to come along and take the life of that shepherd, not necessarily the physical life, but the spiritual life, to rob them of the calling,
Man, that's good.
That's
so deep.
Do you want to? Where do you want to? Do you want me to keep talking the way through it, or
you can? Because this will really go here right into the next question: is what does the Autopsy of a Shepherd illustrate about the life of pastors and other ministers? Or ministries. There's
a really interesting thing that happened whenever Moses and Joshua come. I didn't talk about this Sunday night, but this part's probably going in the message in the future or whatever it ends up being. When Moses and Joshua came down off the mountain, they looked at Aaron and said, "What's going on? You know, what is this?" Moses breaks the commandments. The stone tablets signifying, or it's that prophetic gesture that said, "You all have broken all of these commandments."
Yeah.
And Aaron says, "Yeah, we just threw the gold in the fire, and out came this calf."
Yeah, because that's how it happens. That's how it happens.
Brother mine, let me have a word. Let me have your ear for a moment. We both know that that's not how it happens. And the people said, "We made the image that Aaron gave us to make."
Wow.
Moses and Joshua are standing here in the middle of all this, looking at Aaron. They say, "What have the people done unto thee?"
Did they hold pointy sticks at you and force you to do this?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
But a better question is, what is ministry doing to you?
Wow. Oh my goodness.
What are the people doing to you? Because you have not led them, they have led you.
That's ridiculous.
You have not directed them as the priest, as the high priest. You have not led them, they have led you. They have pushed you into making a decision. They have pushed you into making a false god.
Yeah, if ever there was a correlation, we can look at this a bunch of different ways. But if you just look at this in the sense of the natural, like we're talking about with the autopsy of an individual, what substance took control of their life? You know, they used to be in control of the substance, and then the substance overtook them and
absolutely
and took over every part of their life.
I have not discussed this, this part of it. So while I have studied and researched great details, I'll spare all those great details at this time. And great, I don't mean they are profound. I mean they're just great in number of many details.
It's a lot.
Not many, lots of details. So when you look at the Autopsy of a Shepherd, one thing that many never consider is that disease that shepherd might have caught from the sheep.
Yeah.
Aaron caught a disease from the sheep.
Wow.
That ultimately caused him to maybe form that golden image.
Yeah.
How many counseling sessions have shepherds, pastors counseled only to fall prey to the exact same condition of those they were counseling?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
The Autopsy of a Shepherd.
That is so deep.
Just sitting across the desk from somebody listening to, and that's why it's so important to make sure that it's godly counsel.
Yeah.
Blessed is the man that walketh not.
That's good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that's deep.
And that's why I cannot decide, do I want to address this to pastors and ministry, or do I want to address this to, because I think to really do it justice, I think that, there's books written what every pastor wish the saints knew.
Yeah.
And then there needs to be a book that what every saint wished their pastor knew, which I'm sure there is. I'm sure somebody has written that.
If not, there's a good idea for another book.
So it needs to be seen from both sides.
Yeah.
It can't just be one-sided. And that's one thing that I have attempted in my life. I've not always been well balanced in that area, but to look at it from both sides.
That's good though.
So
that's real good. Telling you, that's where part 2 comes in.
I mean, you're looking at it, and you have to be honest, and you have to know as a minister, you have to know that when you are sitting there and you're giving godly counsel to somebody, you have to know that there has to be protection in your life.
Yeah.
Because there's opportunities that will arise for you to I hate to say this, but for you to exploit the weakness in somebody else.
Yeah. Or even that same thing to get a hold of your life.
Absolutely.
It'd be like somebody who professionally cleans out toxic environments and waste and stuff like that from places to say, oh, this doesn't affect me anymore because I've been around it for so long. I don't have to wear the protective gear.
Yeah. When you've already caught it, you're right. It doesn't protect you, or it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. And then before you know it, you're making yourself more and more susceptible.
Yeah. I mean, you're putting yourself in that situation, That's why you need to stay prayed up.
Yeah.
You need to keep your spirit, keep your man.
Yeah.
You need to really be guarding your soul.
Keep that man in the mirror in check.
One of those things that often comes back to me is, we often laud and clap for Moses because he said, if you're going to kill the people, then kill me too.
Yeah.
Blot me out of the Lamb's book of life. What? You've let them, you would rather die and go to hell with them than be saved yourself?
Mm.
He would rather sympathize with the people. Now, we clap and laud and say, I'm going to be that kind of person, and I'm going to stand in the gap and make up the hedge. Well, you better do that, but you better not stand on the side of the people when it comes to you and God.
No.
Now, be an intercessor for the people. That's great, but don't lose your soul in the process.
Yeah.
Don't say, God, blot me out. No, don't blot me out. Lord, you make me right where I can help these people.
Yeah.
But I'm not standing on that side. It's we've often, it's the same almost the same scenario when Samuel keeps holding on to Saul, and God says, how long are you going to mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from being king? I have rejected him. Samuel was holding on to something that God had let go of.
Yeah.
How often do we die from holding on to things that God has let go of?
Oh man.
We say, wow, he was a hero because he was holding on. Really? How can we be a hero by holding on to something that God has rejected?
Yeah.
Not there's still hope. I'm not talking, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying.
No. I
don't mind being quoted. I don't want to be misquoted.
Well, it'd be like the opposite of Noah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Noah, are you going to stay on the ark, or are you going to stay on the land with the people and say, God, if you're going to take them, you're going to have to take me too.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever think you're such a priceless individual that God lays down his integrity to alter his word for you and for the people of the sin. Like, no,
man,
that's not what happens.
So there's that, that to consider. Are you as a minister, will you die of a disease that was contagious, that you caught with somebody that you were trying to help?
Wow.
The other thing that really stuck out to me when God started dealing with me on this particular thing was the autopsy table.
Yeah.
I've been in the medical examiner's office.
Ooh.
I've been there for autopsies that were being performed. So I've
that's nuts.
been there firsthand.
Wow.
The details don't matter.
Right.
So the autopsy of a shepherd is being examined by the medical examiner.
Yeah.
And that's the whole premise, the whole idea. And as the medical examiner is looking over the shepherd's life, he's looking over the shepherd's body. One of those things that really stuck out to me was, take David, for example. He fought the bear, he fought the lion. No doubt he had scars from that.
Right.
You don't pull something from the mouth of a lion or from the paw of a bear and not have teeth marks and claw marks. We know that he defeated them. What we don't know is, was he wounded in the process?
Right.
Probably so. I mean,
Right.
he's pulling them from their mouth and their paws, So those wounds, they scarred, they healed and scarred over. So when his autopsy was being performed, there's going to be wounds, and they're going to be easily explained.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've seen that before. We've seen that on shepherds before.
Wow.
That's a bear. We've seen their claw marks. We've seen their teeth marks. Oh yeah, that's familiar. That's the claws of a lion. That's obvious. That's the teeth marks of a lion with that monstrous bite that they have. That great biting power that they have, clamping power with their jaws. Yeah, we've seen that before. There's just no way. But that's not what killed him.
Right.
Those scars healed, those wounds healed, and they're scarred. But what we cannot explain are these other marks. We've never seen marks like this on a shepherd before.
Right.
We're used to marks from the predator, but what we're not used to is marks from the prey.
There's even, and you mentioned that a little bit, that, sometimes those sheep that the shepherds, I think that's the right way to say that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they even inflict harm and damage on the shepherd.
Yeah. How do you explain the hoof marks?
Yeah.
On the shepherd? How do you explain the bite marks from sheep on a shepherd?
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't the bear that killed him. It wasn't the lion. It was the sheep. So, the autopsy of a shepherd.
And this will lead right here into this last question. How can the saints of churches take this message or future possible book
Maybe.
and use this to help not only themselves but their pastors and their leaders in their lives?
Yeah, like I said, I don't want it to be a pity party for the shepherds. I don't want it to be a pity party for the pastors. Maybe we should call it pity party for the pastors.
Spin-off book.
I could probably write that in one evening. No, be an Amazon non-bestseller. So, let's see how low on the bottom of the list. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of the list.
Oh my goodness.
So, I don't want it to be all about saints feeling sorry for their pastor.
Right.
I do,
right.
but I do want to give them maybe a view into the life of a pastor, so that they can see that sometimes, he's always willing to go to great lengths to save whatever he can save, whether it's a piece of an ear or whatever. I'm gonna pull him from the mouth of the lion. I'll pull him from the paw of the bear, and I'm gonna get some scars in the process. I'm gonna get some wounds in the process. I mean, even Jesus was wounded.
Yeah.
So perfect people can be wounded.
Yeah.
He was perfect. Perfect people can be scarred.
That's good too, though.
So,
and it's really not so much the pity party or you want people to feel sorry, but there with anybody that does wrong. Again, relating this back to to natural carnal things, but somebody that does wrong and they get a ticket for it, for speeding, and you get a ticket.
yeah,
How many more times are you going to have to get a ticket before you realize and get the revelation, hey, my consequences have actions, or my actions have consequences. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the same thing in the life of saints is we need revelation to know, hey, it's not okay to do things or say things to my leadership or my pastors the way that I do sometimes. Or other instances.
I think sometimes we think our pastors don't bleed. It's easy to get this viewpoint of, you've seen those funny memes where they put those 4 pictures up and say, this is what, the life of a pastor. This is what grandma thinks I do.
Yeah.
This is what my friends think I do. This is what the saints think I do. This is what I actually do. So many times people have that view that the pastor is, he's riding around all the time, or
like Superman.
Yeah,
he's indestructible.
yeah. He's on the golf course or whatever. He's
Now, some pastors
sipping
no,
sweet tea.
I'm not going to go there.
You know, sipping sweet tea by the lake, just
Flying around on their jets.
Yeah, hanging out in the rocking chair all day, just living La Vida Loca. But but the reality of it is, it's I can't remember who said it, and I wish I could because I'd go back and listen to that message again so I could laugh again. I listened to a message many years ago, and the man said, I've been pastoring in this town for a long time. It was like 25, 30 years. And he said, I had a man come up to me and he said, Pastor, you have it easy.
Oh,
he said, you just ride around all the time. He said, you get a check every single week and you just ride around going from place to place, always in a suit, always driving here and there. And he said, you just got it good. He said, I'm out here working so hard. And he said, I could do what you do and I could get a check too. He said, no, you can't. He said, because if you could, you would. He said, if it was as easy as you say it is, he said, then everybody would be doing it. Now. He said that everybody would be riding around and going to the hospitals and going to the nursing homes and visiting the sick and depressed and hurting and lonely and preparing messages to preach so that God can save souls. He said, you'd be doing it too if it was as easy as you say it is.
Yeah, but the realization and the statistics behind, and this is like across the board, not just within our denomination, but, against pastors that, have all kinds of anxiety and, they don't make it all the way to the end because they're like, I just can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
The statistics are there. There's a lot.
Yeah. They say the most stressful.
It's not easy.
The most stressful job in the world.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Because you can't turn it off.
No. Yeah. And like I said earlier, if you don't do it and say, I'm done, I'm going to quit. Are you though? Spurgeon
had a really good statement, and somebody wrote about it. And he titled the article "Preaching Through Adversity." And Spurgeon said, for the preacher, for the pastor, his job, his calling is all heart.
Yeah.
He said, no other profession requires you every day, all the time, to have your heart involved. So he said, so how do you do your job effectively with a broken heart?
Oh my goodness.
He said, when your heart is broken, how can you effectively do your job?
Yeah.
And he said, people never get to see that. He said that you still have to continue doing your job, your call, because it's a call. It's not something that you can just say,
no. Yeah.
I'm pastoring today, but tomorrow I'm gonna whatever.
Yeah. And it's not like other careers where you say, I get the weekend off.
Yeah. See y'all
4
next
days
week.
on, 4 days off.
Yeah. I'll be your pastor next weekend. I'm your pastor tonight on midweek Bible study. But on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm not going to be your pastor. But on Sunday, I'll be your pastor. I'll be back. I'll be back in action. And
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Man, thank you for challenging us to seriously take a look.
Oh, thank you for having this. This was absolutely incredible and
timely.
Thank you
for forcing me to get out of my comfort.
Well, thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
Thank you. People are going to be like, what's going on?
Thank you.
My music won't play. There it goes. Well, is there any book recommendations?
Yes. Get in that series by Nathan Whitley. Nathan S. Whitley.
What the?
Go get him. And he does podcasting.
What?
Yeah, he's a podcaster too.
What the? Nathan S. Whitley books. That's the first thing that comes up.
Several years ago on Facebook, he reached out to us and he's like, I don't know any other Whitleys in the ministry that are, or any other ministry.
That's great.
Something like that. We have to go back and look at it.
Yes, several.
Yeah.
I like this one. Adult-ish.
Yeah.
30s-ish.
I've tried to read just about every one of them, especially I think it was the Hebrews and Timothy that I really enjoyed, that were, to me, were great. Awesome.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Pentecostal publishers. Yeah, we'll have to get some of those. I like it. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Pastor, and thank you for bringing this timely and amazing word to us.
Thank you.
And thank each and every one of you for listening to us today, for being on here and giving us a wonderful 66 episodes. Had to
Next
go
week
back.
will be 6-7.
Oh, gosh. All right. We're not going to post next week. We love you. Go teach a Bible study.